Hello, welcome back. Another session for my tutor, trainer in training, the CELTA course. So this week was a bit of a different week. There was a holiday on Tuesday, so we had no input sessions. There was a self-study day for the candidates as well as me, and I'll tell you what I did during that period of time. And then on Thursday, we had one TP6 and TP7s. So getting towards the end of the course. So because there was no input sessions, I was focusing on doing my huge checklist. I will say that my report checklist, the things that I have to do is well over 100 pages at this point. It'll probably reach around 130 by the time I'm done, which does not include lesson observations and all of the assignments that we have to go through. So it's quite a lengthy effort. So in the spirit of full disclosure, here's what I did during this time that we got to have at least a breather. So before the course, let me just go back a little bit. Before the course, you have to do a lot of reading and set up your portfolio. This is the checklist thing that I'm going through, the portfolio. Look at the syllabuses, start. It's just a lot. You have to review candidate profiles and applications. You have to observe the interviews, etc. But during the course is the main chunk of things that you have to do. So you have to deliver a demo lesson the first day. I think I had already talked about that back on in November. No, in in August. Yeah, August. You also have to select 2 candidates to monitor throughout the course, and you kind of have to keep notes on them. So I was updating my notes on the 2 candidates that I've been monitoring. We have to look at CELTA 5 booklets. We need to observe input sessions. You have to observe at least, I should have looked at the percentage. It's either 70 or 80%. And do an analysis of the session. So pretty much there's like a cover sheet for each session, input session. You write everything down, and then you have to include like a page of notes of like what was going on. Pretty much what I talk to you guys about every week. Then you have to plan, prepare, and deliver a variety of input sessions on the course. They are observed by the training supervisor, and then afterwards you have like a chit-chat feedback. I also have to do standardization tasks on an LMS, learning management system that Cambridge has. Feedback sheets need to be completed for the candidates, and then they have to be looked at by the assessing teaching. There's a lot. I have to observe, assess, and complete the teaching feedback sheets. I have to conduct assessed teaching feedback sessions. So I run the feedback sessions, not all of them, some of the feedback sessions after observed lessons, and then I'm assessed on how my assessment of the teachers. I mean, it's like assessing of assessing of assessing. It's inception here. I have to look at some past written assignments, and I have to mark them and compare them to criteria. That's done on the LMS as well. I have to mark a sample of assignments, and then the assignments are double marked from the training supervisor and the other tutor. I have to look at the CELTA 5 booklets and double check because we're getting closer towards the end of the course, and see how the grades are calculated and start calculating grades for everyone. And then I will take part in, I haven't done this yet at this point, week 15, take part in the meeting of the candidate's progress and grades prior to an assessor's visit. So we have the external assessor that comes in. And so the tutors meet prior to that and discuss the grades. The main course tutor has to prepare sheets on the candidates and give a provisional grade, and all of that is being discussed. And I have to prepare a portfolio for moderation by my assessor. So the assessor that comes in will also assess my portfolio. It's a lot. So most of the reading and stuff is fine. I've done all of my you have different stages where you have to start looking at what you're going to do and blah 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 blah. Excuse me. And then it's a lot. It's a lot. I have to say, it is a lot. If I knew how much it was prior to doing it, I don't know if I would like have taken it on. But now that I'm in it, it's like, okay, just have to do it. So, but I get it. I understand why that it's so extensive. So, I did go through the majority of everything. One of the things that I found to be the most helpful is looking at the syllabus. Well, we have this task that you have to look at the syllabus and the timeline, and you have the different topics from the syllabus. You have to look at the realization on the course program, meaning how was that topic dealt with, whether it be explicitly or implicitly. And then you also have to brainstorm ideas for both of that. So for example, cultural, linguistic, and educational backgrounds. So how was that dealt with on this course, explicitly or implicitly? And brainstorm some ideas of like, how could you deal with this? And then there's another column for associated reading. And so I found that to be quite helpful. This was the most extensive section of my portfolio that it took a lot, but I think it was good because it was thinking about different ways to address the topics on the course, and making sure that I had a list. I have quite an extensive list of associated reading so that we can give references to candidates. So it was quite helpful for me. So I was working on that because we didn't have the input sessions. And then I was also finishing up profiles of the different candidates, strengths and weaknesses for all of them. And then there was 2 that I have to monitor throughout the course. The input sessions I've just been following along with them. So that's just kind of, I fill it out when I have to. And then also I was putting all my like slides and materials, and it was a fast little motorcycle, and the training plan, because I had to do like when you deliver a session, you have to do a session outline. So I was putting all of those together and just kind of cleaning everything up. So that is what I did this week because we had some time off. Let me see if there was anything else that I was. Oh no, I was just working on assignments and grading and trying to organize my folders and stuff like that. There's just a lot of documents. I'm probably going to forget some documents here or there, but yeah. And then we had TP6 and TP7 for some of the candidates. Overall, the candidates are doing fine. They're starting to get it. They're getting a little bit better about completing their lesson plans and stuff. So this week though, we did have let me just double check. Yeah. No, next week. Next week we have the assessor. Yeah, next week we have the assessor coming in to externally assess the lessons. So 2 of the candidates that will be teaching will have their lessons assessed. The candidates are doing fine. I think that there's no major issues in terms of delivering lessons. this group is an experienced group of teachers, so they've been in the classroom for quite a bit. So they don't really have any of like those anxiety jitters of like dealing with students. I think it's more along the lines of, are they able to stage lessons appropriately? Meaning, here are the stages. They know the stages. We've given them kind of like, here's a typical staging of a lesson and the aims of the stage. Are they able to associate the stages with the appropriate activities that are in the book, if they're using printed materials, or are they able to do kind of create their own accordingly? And yeah, I would say 2 or 3 of the 4 that we're working with right now don't really spend enough time preparing themselves. So I think most of the issues that we're having, most of the issues that we're seeing in the lesson observations is that they didn't anticipate some things happening. And there, prior to delivering the lessons, there was not enough time dedicated to organization. So it's more like time management skills that is the issue. So the assignments are getting better. So we have received the assignment 3. So the assignments are of better quality and are more in depth and are more well sourced. So the assignments are getting better. You can see that people are progressing. It's just, I think, because all of the candidates are doing this while working, I think a few of them haven't anticipated the amount of time that it consumes, because though it's not writing, huge essays and things like that, lesson plans, you have to fill them out and do that. You have to, when you're doing the assignments, you have to read, and then you have to kind of collect your thoughts and put them in order and then put it together and make the associations for your assignments. So I think there was just a little bit of a lack of organization of time management, and probably because the candidates didn't anticipate the amount of time that they would have to dedicate to the course. So if you are planning on doing a CELTA, if you do it intensively, I don't recommend working. I did it intensively. We did it it was me and a group of teachers. It was all of the English teachers from the school that I was working at and some additional people from external teachers. Nobody worked because it was full days, long days. We had no time to prep our classes. It was like literally like one day to the next. We had to lesson plan, prep our materials, get everything together. The good thing about it was that we were doing it face to face. So I actually preferred it because it was a little bit easier for like, I don't know, the interaction. I liked it better. The interaction with the tutors and things like that. But if you're doing it like part-time, you still, even though you're doing it part-time, you still have to dedicate a decent amount of time to like lesson planning and prepping and reading, because you have the assignments to do. So you have to quote from literature and things like that. So you do have to spend a bit of time. I'm not going to give you the number of hours that you would probably need per week, because I think everybody's different. But imagine that you have to write a paper and you have to reference specific authors and you have to look for things. So how long does that typically take you? And the lesson plans are typically, I would say maybe up to 10 pages. But again, you have to do like step-by-step procedure, anticipating problems. You have the language analysis. It's all in like templates and grids and things like that. But they can get, like up to 10 pages we're seeing. So I think some of them, if they include the slides, like a print screen of the slides, some of them are like 10 to 15. So it depends. But you have to spend a little bit of time thinking about these things. So that I think that and people are getting tired. It's getting towards the end of the year. So the timing of the course as well, you have to consider. So I would say best recommendations as we're kind of closing out the course and people are trying to finish everything up. Make sure you're getting your organization on track. Time management is really key. If you don't prepare well enough or spend enough time thinking about the things that you're going to have to deliver, whether it be a lesson or an assignment, it's going to show. And that's when you either have to resubmit your assignment or you're going to not to get the best feedback on your lesson. So I'm not going to say that it's going to be not to standard, but you run the risk because as you go through the course, the expectations also increase that how to do these things. So if you've been corrected and if you've been given input sessions and all of those types of things, and you still are not really making progress, the idea is that you have to make progress in the course. So if you're not making progress because you're not dedicating enough time, you do run the risk of possibly not passing the course. But I would say for sure, you definitely run the risk of resubmissions of assignments, which if you're already not dedicating time to, will consume more time and possibly getting not to standard on the higher expectations that the tutors have for the teaching practice. So words of caution after completing week 15, we've got 3 more weeks. And next week's going to be an exciting week because we have, not next week, the week after we have the assessor coming in. So we have 1 more week of TP7s and then week 17, we have the assessor coming in. So stay tuned. I'll give you some more information as we close out this course.